Hi everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Rookie Awards interview series. My name is Christina Ryan, and I'm a senior texture artist at Industrial Light and Magic. I'm also the host of this interview series and a judge for the Rookies Awards. So today I am really excited to introduce Houra to you, the artist behind that stunning work you just saw. It's a personal favorite of mine, and it was lucky enough to win runner-up in our Rookie of the Year competition for visual effects. So as with previous interviews, we'll hear a little bit about what inspired their entry and get them to share their screen and show us some behind the scenes work and some workflows for you guys. So it's a great opportunity. If you want to know how something was achieved, it's a great opportunity to put the questions in the chat. It's meant to be really casual. So if you do have those questions, pop them in the chat and we will do our best to answer them. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Houra right away. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Houra. I've been really excited to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with everyone today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Houra, I was hoping you could just start off by telling us just a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to get into the 3D world.
It wasn't kind of inspiration. It kind of happened.
Yeah.
Without me knowing it. It was like 2.5 years ago. But I started a master here in Spain, continuing my bachelor degree in industrial design, and kind of like in final term there were some optional subjects. One of them was ZBrush, and everyone was kind of saying we don't want this, it doesn't have anything with industrial design, it's about sculpting and stuff. And I was so happy because I found it kind of me. It was so me. So I wanted to continue whatever related to this, any job that anything that this program can kind of like involve in. Like I searched about which jobs that this program can make, or whatever related to it, and I found that my other interest, which is movies, science fiction movies and fantasy movies, related with this so much. So I continued about searching about it and stuff. So next step, I searched about the schools and started the think tank program. Started this way. Yeah.
And how did you find Think Tank? Were you just through your research online, or did you find out through a friend?
No, it was online. I just searched the best schools in the world.
As you do.
Yeah, honestly, I just searched that, and actually, the best schools that which matches my finance situation. But the only online school the with good rating was this one, so I picked this one.
Oh, well, Think Tank is a fantastic school. We see a lot of our rookies come through there. So you did well to pick that one. So you
Yeah,
said
it's very
you did all of the studies online. How long were you doing that for?
the program is a year and a half,
Yeah.
but mine kind of took 2 years because I worked
Yeah.
in the final term. I worked simultaneously with my project, so a bit of project, a bit of work, and
Yeah.
it took a bit longer.
And can you tell us a little bit more about Think Tank Training Centre? Did you get to choose what subjects you did? Did you say to them, hey, I want to focus on ZBrush because that's what I really enjoy? Or did they have a very like rigid program that you had to go through?
Is the first term is on the generic. You don't choose exactly what you do. You just choose a project you like, and
Yeah.
you work on it. It could be environment, it could be character, it could be whatever you like.
Yeah.
And after that, there are some paths. You choose either character you like to work, character for film, or environment for film, for example, or go to game path and choose the same, like character for game or environment for game or things like that. So there are different options to choose.
Oh, lovely. So that's great that you can really choose exactly what path you want to take.
Yeah.
And you obviously picked, as it visual effects and character design?
Yeah.
Lovely. So I've already got a question come through. So a question on Think Tank. Is it really good and understandable learning online? And all the classes would be live. Which course did you take? So obviously someone's looking into taking Think Tank and they're just wondering how did you feel about learning online versus in person?
It surely is better to go in person,
Yeah,
but if you should see, you should consider how's your budget, or
yeah,
if you can go there. I couldn't,
yeah,
so because of my passport and stuff and
yeah,
things like that. So for me, that was the best option online. But generally, from what I saw and I experienced, because I did it kind of not complete course in another school here, which turned out awful.
okay.
And I hope no one experienced that. But just from my personal experience, yeah, I found it very good comparing to others,
Yeah,
because there are really I'm sure many people that are seeing this have experienced the same, like some schools that advertise something that they don't have, or
yeah,
they don't yeah, they don't deliver it.
yeah.
So from my experience, yeah, Think Tank Online is one of the best.
No, very good. Did they do like lectures? Did you get like video time with them as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the classes are live,
yeah. And
and yeah, you are in contact with your teacher directly, and even out of the class, you can outside of the class time, you can
yeah,
contact your teacher.
yeah,
And especially the last term, which is mentorship term, it's you and your teacher, and it's perfect.
Wow.
And yeah, lots of information.
Great.
I actually loved it, especially with my mentor, because it was awesome,
Oh, great.
and I learned a lot. Like, yeah,
That's fantastic.
I recommend it.
Great. Well, that's so good to hear. And I mean, looking at the results, it seems that you've got some fantastic mentors there that really help you develop. And even though it's online, it doesn't seem like you missed out on anything. I guess in this day and age, everything, or so much is online now, right? Even full-time work, we do a lot of it remotely. So it's the way that things are going. And I'm really glad you had such a positive experience. So, Hoda, could you tell us a little bit about what you're doing now? Have you found work, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit
It,
about that? Or
yeah,
what
to be honest, yeah, it wasn't easy because it depends. It so depends on where you live.
Yeah.
Finding job, and in Spain, unfortunately, there aren't many. Actually, kind of not any studios, film studios.
Okay.
So it wasn't easy, but a studio a while ago offered me a remote job
Wow.
from Canada.
Wow.
So I'm working now for them, and it's good. Outpost Graphics.
And what was the name of the company? Sorry.
Outpost Graphics.
Ah, yes. Sorry, I missed that. And what I know, you have to be really careful with what you're actually doing at work. But can you tell us what is your job role at work? Are you doing modeling or
Yeah,
texture?
of course. I'm doing all of it.
All of it? So
Kind
you're
of.
like a
Yeah,
general.
as generalist. Yeah,
Yeah. And
I'm
are
a
you really
generalist.
enjoying that?
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of like all the things that I used to do in a school.
Yeah. Now you
It's
get
the
paid though.
exact same. Yeah.
Oh,
And uh, I don't know, asset from the beginning till the end, look dev, lighting,
yeah.
everything, and it's good. Not
Oh,
lighting particularly, but yeah,
great.
you do the look dev too. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. I like you deserve,
Thank you.
everything after with all of it, with all of your work. I was hoping you might be able to tell us, I suppose, what made you enter the Rookies Award? If we just sort of talk about your little harvester, how did you hear about the Rookies?
About the rookies, well, you enter the think tank school and everyone talks about rookies. Each term you put your works there, so it's not that difficult to not hear about it when you enter a think tank.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone does that, and it's a good opportunity, I think, to get your work uh, known and seen when you're almost not known at all. So it's a good opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm so glad that you did put this online. I'm just so happy I was able to see this. Um, are you able to tell us a little bit more about this particular entry? You mentioned to me earlier that you love incorporating children and stories into your work. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that in relation to this image?
Um, it's a kind of personal thing for me, choosing concepts that has a child in it. It goes back to my childhood, maybe, or
Yes.
many others who have lived like me.
Yep.
Uh, uh, it makes me emotional sometimes, but
Yes.
it's okay. I wanted to
It's
tell,
okay. Yep.
talk about it.
Yes.
I don't know. There are always something about children. Everyone can connect with children, and the why is because they are so pure,
Yes.
and whatever they say or do is just exactly what they want to say or do. They don't act.
Yeah.
And that's why we all love children and can connect with them. So I wanted to choose a concept that everyone can connect as I do.
Amazing. And
And
you've done such a good job of
also,
that. Yes?
yeah, and also the concept I chose is about children who kind of maybe haven't lived the childhood.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk about this um, with my words,
Exactly.
and I hope I did.
Oh, you've done such a wonderful job, Houra. You have portrayed all of that and more within just a single picture. I can see so much emotion and so much thought and care inside of your artwork. It's absolutely beautiful. So thank you for telling that story to everyone. And guys, look at this. This is a photograph, isn't it? Like, I didn't even know at first. I thought that was her work, guys. And then I realized this was the reference photo. So just this is a phenomenal level of photorealism. Like, yeah, this quality of work could go straight into VFX movies as is. So you should be really, really proud of that. Houra, I was hoping that, I guess something I've been really excited about is just seeing a little bit about how you made this. Are we able to share the screen, and perhaps you could show us a little bit of the behind the scenes of this asset?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Cool. So I've got, you can take control now so we can see you and Maya.
So this is the model. I'm not so experienced in explaining my works.
No, that's all right.
So I don't know what to explain about modeling it. I started with the basket, which I found the most difficult to model my work, and it was I started with a plan and with two extruded box for these pieces, for tiny pieces like you see here.
Yeah.
Strips, and I kind of like spreaded them with mesh, and then bend the whole thing to make this. And with and with same for these parts. These are just some strips. They are not continuous. And this part and combine the whole thing and bend it.
Yeah.
And then not more after. I just did some changes with lattice deformer to make this like the bottom part like as you see square, and the top part this way. And then and then I moved it to ZBrush and did some sculpting, because if you notice here, there it's not kind of like perfect shape. It has some unevenness in some parts. It's like this here. These are all sculpted in ZBrush, like to make it like it's pushed by the weight and the back of the child.
Oh, wonderful.
And one more about the child is it was a base mesh, and then I had a dynamic sculpt of the face. I used the base mesh to project it on top of that dynamic sculpt, and further that I sculpted more and more and rendered and then sculpted to do more changes as I go forward.
Yeah. And how did you mentioned, because I've just got a question, it's probably a good time to ask it from the audience. You said you used a base mesh. So was that in T-pose? And if so, how did you then pose it into this pose?
Yeah, for the pose, I don't remember the name now, but yeah, here it is. There is a plugin which my mentor introduced me called A Skeleton 5.
Yeah.
The 5 obviously the version, but A Skeleton. And you can download it on the internet, you search it, Google it, and there is for free. Yeah.
Really?
And
I'm gonna write this one down.
it's a very good plugin. You can pose any kind of creature or character, whether human and creatures. And it has a prepared skeleton. You can use it for your work. So it's so easy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and there are so many video tutorials on YouTube about it, so don't worry about it.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Because I was expecting you to have to rig the whole thing and pose it. It's great that you can just download something.
I actually used to use the Maya rig, which wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But this one's really good.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Great tip.
And what more? I don't know. What more you want to know? The other stuff I can explain about the clothes, about the costume. I did it in Marvelous Designer. This is the A-pose version, which is not posted yet. I did it in Marvelous Designer, and there's a pattern. It's a very simple pattern and doesn't have so much to explain. And then I did a pose in Maya and imported to Marvelous Designer and posed the costume too. And but the final result wasn't that. If I can open the project here again. Okay, the post one. What's this? Okay, let's see. So this is the post version. Don't mind this. Yeah, this is the post version, and yeah, as you see, it doesn't have that much of wrinkles and stuff. So no details almost. And this was the final result of the Marvelous Designer. And then all the wrinkles you see here, in these wrinkles on the pants and the scarf, all this is sculpted in ZBrush.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you did ZBrush instead of using end cloth or anything. Wow.
Yeah, actually, if you want to have detailed wrinkles and kind of custom wrinkles, because the wrinkles you see in this work are so similar to what you see in the photo reference, so I had to sculpt them manually. Yeah. More about the hair. It doesn't have that complicated hair. It actually is not that, the model is not that complicated. What makes it a bit kind of detailed is mostly the textures that I don't have Mari to install now to share it. But yeah, the most of the job is done with Mari, and it's the details of texturing, which you can see in the final renders.
Yeah.
in my portfolio.
Do you have any advice for someone that is trying to do something photorealistic? So in your experience, so we had a question just asking, like, what do you look out for? What techniques do you prefer for the sculpting and texturing process? And can you offer any advice for someone trying to recreate something like this?
I myself need advice, and I'm learning still a lot. I need to learn a lot because uh, I should say that I couldn't do this work this perfect without the guidance and help of my mentor, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I can say that may guide someone or help someone is that sculpting anatomy is so important, and that you know the structure of body parts, skeleton, muscles, fats, skin. This is so important, and I need to learn a lot too. I still need to learn a lot about this. And the other thing is to observe a lot for gathering references for texturing,
Mm-hmm.
because and also reading about the history of the character or creature you're making, because this helped me a lot, like reading about the monk tribe, why they escaped from China to the North Vietnam, and what happened to them, how long they've been there or lived there, and stuff like that.
Yep. So getting a bit of a story behind it as well.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And
And like, so I suppose in making something photoreal, in terms of textures, what would you say is the most important map or the most important part of your textures that made it more photorealistic? Does that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Like
I
what
would
map
say,
makes or breaks a photoreal?
yeah, I would say knowing how the colors works, uh, for sure. Having a background of working like painting and things like that works helps a lot. And there are people that say it doesn't matter if you enter the CG world. It doesn't matter how much background of drawing or painting you have. But I'd say it matters a lot because it helped me so much.
Yeah.
Um, I used to draw and paint like a hobby, but in here in CG it helped me a lot, like knowing, mm, observing a photo and see which colors it has, like mixture of which color is making that color. And if you cannot see that, you maybe cannot do something so uh, precisely in
Yeah.
your textures.
I see. Oh, thank you. That's some great advice. It looks like we got some people that already at Think Tank at the moment. So we've got a few people that are really inspired by your work. Someone's just asked a little bit about what course you took. Now, I don't quite understand how it's broken up, but they've asked if you've taken all steps of the program from foundation through to advanced
Yeah,
membership. Does
yeah,
that ring a bell to you?
yeah. If I have passed all the turns, because there are students that come from like enter from second turn,
Oh, okay.
because yeah, because they think their level is higher than starting from foundation, so they start from the second term or third term.
Oh,
But
okay, cool. So you can sort of slip in at any point in the course and then go right
yeah,
through.
you can do that too.
Oh,
But I
oh,
didn't.
so you did the whole course over 18
Yeah,
months. Yeah.
because the
And
foundation actually has some kind of fundamental things for
yeah,
information about rendering
yeah,
and look development. It's
yeah.
so helpful, and I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, good on you. And I think, you know, especially if you're self-taught as well, it's always great advice to go back and learn those fundamentals because you may find that you may have missed something or perhaps not learned something in a way that would be taught or would be expected in a job sort of scenario. So it's great that you learnt those foundations and went back to the beginning. Even so, 18 months is not very long to learn all of these skills. So they must do a very good job at teaching you everything in 18 months.
Yeah, but you also, I think any human being can do something if it is forced to. So the thing, actually, the good thing that think tank taught me is to have a plan for my life.
Yeah.
Because before that, I didn't expected myself to be able to do things when I'm forced. But now I think I can do it. So I've decided to do the same thing, like think tank, but myself. Yeah.
I hope you are so proud of yourself for achieving everything that you have over these past 18 months, Laura. You have, looks like you've even inspired someone to join Think Tank themselves. So, wow, how does that feel?
Good. But yeah, there are people that message me on my socials and ask, and I say, yeah, obviously, school cannot do a miracle,
Yeah.
but the big part is you. But I'd say if you want to pick a school, pick the good one.
Good. Yeah, it's very important, isn't it? You when you're going to learn, do your research, find a good school, look at previous students' work, see what the curriculum is and what they're teaching, because not all schools are equal, and Think Tank is very, very high up there and very highly regarded as one of the best. So, and this is evidence of that. So. Houra, I guess my last question is you mentioned a little bit more about Marvelous Designer, and this is just something that I'm really interested in. As someone who is a really not so good sewer, I'm starting to get into reading patterns. You said that you were a sewer and that helped you use Marvelous Designer, is that right?
Not a kind of not can call me. I cannot call me sore, but yeah, I have done it, like doing some stuff on myself or family or some, I don't know. I just as a gift, doing as a gift to someone. So yeah, I have experience of sewing, and it actually helps a lot to do stuff in Marvelous Designer. And yeah, people who don't use Marvelous Designer prefer using ZBrushes because they are afraid of doing patterns and finding good patterns. But yeah, if you have the experience of sewing, you can do patterns from memory,
That's so
at
good.
least the simple ones. So
Yeah.
it kind of makes the experience of Marvelous Designer joyful to know how to sew.
I wonder if I go to my craft store and you know how you can get all of those patterns for the fancy costumes. I wonder if I could find a costume and look up the pattern and then use it to make it Marvelous Designer.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah,
It would work like that, would it? Oh God, that's
yeah,
all
exactly. Yeah.
so cool. No, I've never used Marvelous Designer myself. It's one of those things I keep wanting to try. It looks so cool. So thank you for sharing that. It's really cool to see. So, Hoda, I reckon we'll probably leave it there for tonight. We've gone through, we've seen so much of your work, and we've had a marvelous response in the audience as well. So, thank you so much for sharing and for being such a wonderful part of the Rookies community.
Thank you. I hope I could help someone with what I shared. Yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Well, you helped me, and it looks like you've helped a lot of people as well. So yeah, guys, unless there's any more questions, we'll wrap up for there. And Houra, if you ever have any questions or if you need anything in the future, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or the guys at the Rookies. We're always here to help. And yeah, stay in touch, all right?
Sure, thank you. It was a really pleasure to meet you.
You too. Yeah, well, if no one's got any questions, I'll catch you all later. See you later, guys. I'll leave you with Hora's showreel in case you didn't see it at the start, and we'll wrap up there. See you next week, guys. Bye.